To be able to write Python programs, we need to install a couple things first. We're going to install Python3, and we're also going to install PyCharm. Both are necessary and aren't installed by default on most computers. So I'm going to be running through this installation for Mac. If you want, there's also a video available for installing it on Windows. So I'm going to go ahead and download Python. The latest version here is 3.7, so I'll download this. And you want to make sure that you install Python first. So I'm going to go to my downloads, open this up, and just click through the prompts. Everything's fine. You want to agree. Install it. Okay. You may be prompted for your password for your computer. Okay, while that's finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and download PyCharm. Oh, it looks like it's getting there. Good. Okay, so now I want to download the latest PyCharm. Oh, okay, good. My Python3 is installed. Now there's a reason why we install Python3 first before we install PyCharm. Because once I install PyCharm, it's going to search for all available versions of Python on my machine. And Python 2 is also a version of Python that's very popular and is installed by default. However, we're using Python 3 in this class, not Python 2. So we want to make sure that we get the right version set up. And it just goes a little bit more smoothly if we install Python first. The difference between Python 2 and Python 3 is with the syntax, which hopefully you'll recognize from the previous lesson. Okay. Let's see. Okay, good. The PyCharm Community Edition is downloading. If you want, you can sign up and subscribe to emails. I'm choosing not to. Okay, and once that's finished downloading, we can install it. Once it's downloaded, I go to my downloads, I click on the disk image, DMG, and now I can drag PyCharm CE to my applications. Now, I happen to have one installed already. You probably don't, so you shouldn't get this message. But I want to replace my older edition with the latest. And I like keeping it in my dock so I have it ready to go whenever I need it. Okay. Now, when you first start up PyCharm, and actually let me get rid of, I'm going to eject this disk image now that we're installed. Okay. I'm going to follow along with these instructions here. Okay. So I'm not going to import any settings. You probably shouldn't have this either because this is most likely the first time you're using it. Now once I scroll to the bottom of the agreement, it'll allow me to accept it. I'll allow it to send usage statistics, but you don't have to. Okay, now most of you haven't used PyCharm, so you'll want to keep those. I have used PyCharm before, but I would like to use these standard defaults. So I'm going to allow all of the standard preferences. Let's see what happens. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to call it Sandbox, as it suggests in the directions. Create a new project called Sandbox. Okay. Project Interpreter. Good. When I click on Project Interpreter, I can see that it's using Python 3.7. It doesn't matter what version of Python 3 you use, as long as it's Python 3 and not Python 2. Okay, so I didn't need to make any changes there. Okay. Oh no. I should have watched those preferences. I do not like dark gray backgrounds. I totally prefer light colored ones. But in the interest of not wasting your time, I'm going to continue onward. Okay, so we want to create a new Python program. So if I right click on Sandbox, I can create new Python file. And I'm going to call it hello. Okay, and now I can see over to the right, this is my editor. And I'm going to type print hello world. And hopefully this will be our first Python program. I'm going to save it. You can go to File, Save, or I did Command S to save it. And now I want to run it. There's a couple different ways I can run it. I can go to the Run menu. I can also right-click on the file and go to Run. That's another way. And a new, what's called console or terminal pops up, and I can see that it says Hello World, and this is correct. If my setup was incorrect, if I was using Python 2 instead of Python 3, I would see parentheses around here. So this setup that I have here is correct, and it's what you want to look for.